Hello everyone, my name is Grace and I am a drama therapist with CW+, and I'm very excited to be bringing you another Virtual Connections video. I hope you've all been enjoying them so far, and we've really appreciated all of your feedback and all of the views and the help and everything that you've been giving to us during this time as well, so thank you. Today's video is an exciting one, and it's one that I really enjoy doing, but it involves a little bit of movement. So again, as with all of my videos, just take this at your own pace, and anything that I'm doing that perhaps you can't do for whatever reason, just do what you can and don't overexert yourself in any way. You know, this is for well-being and therapeutic value, so it's important to look after yourself and your body. We'll get started because I have a lot that I want to do in today's video and I don't want to pack it in too much. So there will be a chance in today's video for you to pause during a certain part if you want to explore a little bit further than what I'm doing. So I will tell you when that moment comes in the video. But to start with, just sit, stand, lie comfortably and just concentrate on your breathing for a second. And when you're ready, just think about how you're feeling today. Or how the majority of your day has gone and how you've been feeling for most of today. Think of a feeling that springs to mind and just say it out loud. So my feeling is annoyance. I've been annoyed today, I've been frustrated today at kind of different little things that are just getting on my nerves. And I feel like these little annoyances, these little things that are bugging me are just being, you know, expanded and are making me feel more annoyed than I really should be, because it's lockdown, we're going through a pandemic and everything just feels so much worse because of that. So that's my check-in. I feel annoyed, I feel frustrated. And just take a moment now to say how you're feeling today. Thank you. And now we're going to translate that word, that feeling, whether you said a word, whether you said a sentence, we're going to translate that into a sound and a movement. So mine was frustrated or annoyed. So I'm going to think about how that might look on my body in a sound and a movement. That's my check-in today. And now it's your turn to translate your word or phrase into a sound and a movement. I'll leave you a space to do that now. Thank you. And I'm just going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, we're going to do our sound and movements together at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. So today, I would like you to think, if you were living in a certain habitat, so a certain setting, a certain place, if you had to live somewhere, where would it be? And I'd like you to try and avoid thinking about houses or, you know, mansions or castles or anything that is kind of human. I'd like you to think about, if you were to live somewhere natural, where would you like to live? Which habitat would you like to live in? So for example, I would love to live in the ocean or kind of on the sand, on the beach, and have the beach and the sea both as my habitat and as my home. But really I would love to be able to live in the ocean and see all the beautiful colours and all the beautiful fish, and I just love being in the water, so that would suit me very well. So I'd like you to think about where you would like to live if you could live somewhere natural. So not in a house, somewhere that's in the world, somewhere where maybe humans don't live. So have a think about that now, and you can say it aloud if you'd like to. And while you're thinking about it and saying it aloud, I'm just going to get up some music and we're going to warm up our body for the next part of the session. So I hope you thought about your habitat, and now we are going to leave that habitat aside just for a moment as we warm up our bodies together. So you can do this in any way you like. You can follow what I'm doing, or if you can feel some aches and pains in different parts of your body, you can warm them up in any way you like. So let's just warm up together for a few minutes, and then we'll come back to stillness together. So you might want to stretch, or you might just want to move to the music, whatever suits you today. Continue to move until the song is over. And as the song is ending, just come back to stillness and just sit down in a comfortable position. Take a breath. Have some water if you need it. I hope everyone feels a bit more warm and a bit more limbered up and ready for the rest of the session. So I would like you to think again of the habitat you chose at the beginning of the session before we did our warm-up. So mine was the ocean and the beach. So I would like you to think again of yours. And I'm just going to talk us through a guided imagination exercise of imagining yourself in that habitat. We're not going to move just yet. We're going to stay sitting down. So really make sure you're feeling comfortable. Obviously move your feet and your legs and any other part of your body if you need to during this exercise. But I would invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable with this, because I think it really helps when you're imagining being somewhere else. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, just have a soft gaze looking down at the floor. So I'd like you to imagine that you're in your habitat, the one that you chose at the beginning of the session. Just breathe in this place. And when you breathe in, just notice what smells fill your nose and your lungs. And what sounds fill your ears when you really stop and listen. Notice if your habitat is loud or if your habitat is quiet. And just start to have a look around you. Notice the colours, the shapes, the sizes of everything around you. Are you in a habitat that's very vast, or maybe you're in a habitat that feels very close and small? Notice whereabouts that you're sitting or standing or lying within your habitat. And look what's directly around you, if you're sitting on the floor or standing up. And as I'm talking us through this, you're welcome to move your head and see if that helps you with looking around your imaginary habitat. And then looking up towards the sky or towards whatever is above you in this habitat, and noticing what's up there and what kind of weather it is today. Is it hot? Is it cold? Are you wet or are you dry? Really look around and see what you're faced with today. And then suddenly, right in front of you, you're going to see an animal. Now this can be any type of animal you like. Just the first animal that kind of springs to your mind when you're in this habitat. And just study the animal for a bit of time. Notice how big or small the animal is. Notice the way it's moving, or maybe it's just staying still. Does it look friendly? Or maybe you're not sure and you don't want to go towards it. Is this animal a female or a male? And I'd invite you to start to feel curious about this animal. So curious that you want to follow the animal. And just imagine, whilst keeping your eyes closed, that you start to follow this animal carefully and quietly around the habitat that you guys are in. Start to mimic its movements in your mind. Notice how it moves. And start to follow it and mimic its movements at the same time. And let that translate into your body. So start to mirror how your animal is moving through your body as well as in your imagination. So as I was in the sea, my animal is a jellyfish. So I'm thinking about my jellyfish and how it's moving. And I'm following it with my body and in my mind. And start to open your eyes and allow your habitat and your animal to move away. And while still moving, as your animal, just move around the room that you're in, the space that you're in, and explore how to move as your animal. So imagining that you're still in your habitat, although now we're opening our eyes, and let the other animal runs away, and we are now just moving as this animal. Really try and copy how you saw this animal in your mind moving through your habitat. Notice how slow you can move as this animal. And how quickly you can make the animal go. allow your animal to move to the music. Now your animal might make some sounds, and if your animal does make those sounds, you're welcome to let them out now. Let your animal look around and react to its habitat. Maybe there's a tree your animal wants to climb. Maybe there's a bush your animal wants to hide in. Let your animal be curious about the habitat that it's in. And allow your animal to come back to stillness. Just allow your animal to rest. Notice how your animal rests. Let your animal look around the space, around the habitat, as it starts to get tired and starts to rest. Now there's a chance to pause the video if you want to continue exploring how your animal moves. And maybe you want to put on some different music, or maybe you want to do it in silence. But there is that chance now for you to pause the video if you want to continue to explore how your animal moves and the habitat that you're in. But as I said at the beginning of this video, I had a lot to fit into today's video. So for those of us who are not going to pause the video today, we are going to go back to our original habitat where we came from, and we are going to leave our animal and our imaginary habitat behind. But maybe this is something that we can revisit in a future video, because if you're not pausing the video today, you didn't have too much time to explore your animal. However, if you want to draw your animal or think about your animal in a different way, there is also a chance for you to pause the video and do that. If you don't feel like moving anymore, you can pause the video and draw your animal. And maybe think about how they might fit into a story, or think about what that animal means to you and maybe why you picked that animal. But for us who aren't pausing the video now, it's time for us to leave this habitat and come back to our space. So I'd invite you again to close your eyes and just allow any part of your animal that is still on your body to be brushed away. And just start, as your eyes are closed, to pat in to your own body, press in, feel your arms, feel your shoulders, feeling your neck and your head, and all the way down your body to your feet. And just breathing as yourself where you are. And just say your own name, Grace. And one more time, say your own name, Grace. And while still closing your eyes, imagine yourself walking away from that habitat that you were just in and walking towards where you are in real life right now. Start to see the colours of the room that you're in, the shapes, the shadows, the light. Maybe you can start to feel what's around you, feel the ground underneath you or the floor underneath you. If there's anything else in the room that you can touch from where you are, try and feel for it with your eyes still closed. And just breathe in. Think about what you can smell in this room that you're in. Notice what you can hear in this room that you're in. And now I'd invite you to open your eyes and just have a quick look around, familiarising yourself of this room once more. This space that you've spent the video moving in and sitting in. And we're just going to play a quick game. I'm going to look around my space and just say everything that I can see as I scan kind of this bit behind the camera, and then you can do the same. Sofa, blanket, cushion, box, TV, books, picture, light, fairy lights, cupboard, putty, fan, table, chair, candle, flowers. You have a go with that now. Thank you. And last but not least, we're going to take a deep breath together. In, and just let your breath out on a sound. Ooh. Go for as long as you can with that. Thank you everyone. That's the end of our session today, and I'll see you in the next one.